In this episode, we are gonna discuss why this is the greatest era of mankind to be alive, and lucky enough, you are part of it. My name is Andrei, and this is the episode 9 of Decode Your 20s. This episode is slightly different than the previous ones because I want to put things in perspective. There is something that I'm thinking of, and everyone, including myself, is pretty bad at it, and that is putting things in perspective. Did you notice how many things we all take for granted now? For example, do you imagine the world 40 years ago when people were writing letters on a piece of paper and receiving the response back in a week? I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's unbelievable. And the point of this, putting things into perspective, is that firstly, we need to realize how lucky we are that we are living in this era and how amazing this time is. And it's hard to realize this when you are young, because you didn't live in the times where these things were not possible. I mean, your parents were born pre-internet era. Can you imagine the world without internet? And the whole point of this video is that putting things in perspective will make you be grateful and will make you not pay attention to the things that don't matter and actually do the things that matter. And I want to summarize what a great era it is right now by talking from the perspective and summarizing the advancements that happened in the last 25 years that we as kids in this generation take for granted, which is mind-blowing, right? Let's start with something pretty basic. Can you imagine that a smartphone didn't exist 11 years ago? I mean, I don't know what else to say. Our whole world is moving and gravitated toward this thing, and still we take it for granted. It's how many times do you think that this smartphone thing is 10 years ago? When I was a kid, I had a Nokia phone which had a small screen which was green and black, and I was super happy that my parents bought it and I could play a snake game. But this thing, which is now indispensable to anyone, anyone has one and anyone uses one, it's unbelievable that it's just 10 years old. Let's take it one step further. Can you imagine the world without instant messaging? Not sending, for example, pictures and talking just in text on SMS and waiting 15 seconds to receive a message? It's unbelievable to me. Can you imagine going in another place without posting a picture or sending a picture to someone about that thing? For example, you go in a camp in China and for 2 weeks long you don't send a picture or talk to anyone else? I mean, those things are so common sense now. It's it just exists, if you know what I mean. That it's unbelievable. And when you put things in that perspective, you feel so humble. You feel like you are insignificant in this world. I mean, let's take it one step even further. Can you imagine the world without video calling? If you were going outside of your computer, you couldn't call someone video. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And one thing that amazes me even right now is that you are seeing a video with me. You are probably thousands kilometers away than me. You are seeing this video for free online at your own pace with just 3 clicks, and you are seeing me almost live. It's unbelievable. 15 years ago, our parents wouldn't even imagine that these things would be possible. Let's put in another perspective. YouTube was founded 2006, and don't think that in 2006 there were like even 1,000 of videos online, right? So in the last 10 years, you are able to see videos with people, education, history courses online on YouTube for free. And this thing for free is even more mind-blowing, because in the past, like let's say 50 years ago, the army had a lot of interesting things that were similar with the ones we have right now, and they were like just the army had it. For example, the army had maps 50 years ago, but now everyone like has Google Maps. Firstly, they are free. Secondly, you have access at any point in time, at any place in the world. You can even go street view. You can even see the cities in 3D. And yesterday I was going on Google Earth in Singapore, and I was completely blown away by the quality of the 3D images. I was zooming on a building that much that I could even see when a window was open or was closed. I mean, I wouldn't even imagine those things. I have a few more examples. Can you imagine the world without free access to information on Google? Like now we just go and type something. For example, you want to know information about how to create a mobile application. You have that for free at your fingertip. 25 years ago, people had to go to a library, search for a book, then go and read stuff, then put the book, take another book. It would have taken hours. And now we have this. What I did until now is just like enumerate some things which are mind-blowing, because I don't even know what to say more than that. I mean, it's so black and white that it's hard to even say more things about it. Like, how do you define the color black? We take them for so granted. And when you put things in perspective, like just imagine how the world was when people didn't have access to those things, is unbelievable. Logical question is the following. Can you imagine how the world would look in another 10 years from now? I mean, it's so hard to even imagine. Like if you have an Amazon Alexa, you can even talk to it. You can even speak to it. Like if you ask someone 10 years ago, can you speak to a thing, and that thing to understand you, you would have said, get the fuck out of here. Or like self-driving cars. I was in San Francisco and I saw their self-driving cars on the street, and I was like, oh my god, those things like really exists. I mean, ask your grandparents to say what they would think if they would see a car driving by itself without any driver on the street. Your grandparents wouldn't even believe you. They would think you like you got out of your mind. These are just mind-blowing things, and when you think of them, it just makes you seem insignificant. And I think this is a good thing, right? Like putting things into perspective help you clarify and like get perspective. If I would be now to draw a line in the sand, the punchline is the following. We now live in the greatest era of mankind. We should be happy about that. I don't think we should feel bad that we were lucky to be born in this era. Just the way it is, and we should be happy with that. The next things would be how to take advantage that we are living in this era. 20 years from now, when we will think at this time, we would be, man, those things were so obvious that I can't even think how I didn't see them. But the point is, let's not arrive at that point 20 years from now, and let's start doing something about it. Like, we now have unlimited possibilities, and I think it's the time to realize that we live basically in the greatest era of mankind. It's something hard to think about it, and I would recommend you when you have time to try to, meditate about those things, because when you go to your parents and you tell them that 10 years from now you will be driving in a self-driving car and you would not even need to take an Uber driver because you will have a self-driving car, they will not even believe you. That's the point of this video, to put things in perspective. I hope that you will continue to think about it and take a sense of the gratitude, of the happiness that you were born during this era. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.